Hello and welcome to that 90s Wrestling Podcast, and welcome to the first edition of the new series, which we are now doing Tournament Brackets. And to start things off, because we're on the road to WrestleMania and it's Royal Rumble season, me and some good buddies of mine are going to decide what is the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. So, joining me in this episode from the Universal Wrestling Podcast, Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Yo, what's up, James? Thanks for having us on. This is going to be awesome. I love bracket competitions, and it being the Royal Rumble, can't get any better than that. So let's get on with the show.
Awesome. And you've got your special announcement, your new co-host, Rob. How you doing, Rob?
What's going on, James? How you doing?
Good, thanks. First time speaking to you, but I'm sure by the end of the episode we'll be the best of friends.
Really best buds.
Cool. We'll be there exactly. Step brothers. Did we just become best friends?
Immediately.
Awesome. So, for everyone tuning in, we are having a tournament bracket, and because we're on the road to WrestleMania and it's Royal Rumble season, we've decided to do the bracket to decide which is the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. So, before we start things off, a few announcements. So, there's been 36 Royal Rumbles, including the women's. We are not including the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia because that shit does not count because it's a glorified house show. And the ways we're going to decide what the greatest Royal Rumble matches of all time. So the factors going into it, memorable moments from the Royal Rumble, who the winner was, final two, what that winner went on to achieve afterwards, and yeah, basically quality of the eliminations. So guys, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's get it going.
I was born ready for this, James.
Cool. So, first up, we have got the 1997 Royal Rumble, where the winner was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that is up against the very first Royal Rumble in 1988, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yes, sir. The only thing I can remember from the 97 Rumble is that Rocky Maivia, I think that was his debut.
Yeah, it's I think it was his first Rumble. Yeah, pretty much. And it's weird as well because he's feuding with Mankind, and Mankind, I think, is still dressed in all the brown gear.
Yeah.
And it's watching the two of them in the earliest portions of their WWE careers, and knowing what's going to happen in 2 years' time, and that brutal I Quit match. It's weird seeing these big stars at the very beginnings of the WWE careers. And yeah, 97 Rumble. I mentioned it before, and the original planned winner was going to be Bret Hart, but Vince Russo decided to change things. He was on the WWE show Live Wire, and the caller had the call and asking Vince Russo, or I suppose his gimmick name at the time was Vic Venom. And, asked him who was going to win the Royal Rumble, and he said that, well, it's obvious Bret Hart's going to win it. And because Vince McMahon heard this, he thought I'll change things last minute, and decided to have Stone Cold win it. So, any other memories from 97 Rumble?
I mean, I was a fresh 3 years old back then, but yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday, I was just actually about to mention Vince Russo, that genius. And the 97 Rumble is phenomenal. I think Stone Cold winning is brilliant, and especially going over Bret, because them two, they had their Mania match, and it was phenomenal. It's like that iconic, figure four bloody face Stone Cold moment. I think that was awesome. I think 97 should be the clear-cut winner, but I did go back and watch 88 recently. It is the only 20-man Rumble, right?
Yes.
That's right.
And it's actually not terrible for the year it was in and all the other circumstances. Actually not bad, and I'm a big Jim Duggan guy, so I guess I'm gonna go 1988 gets the win in my books.
Oh well.
James, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the other fun fact with the 88 Rumble and the first Rumble, I believe was the very first entrant of the Royal Rumble. And for me, Austin entering so early as well, number 5, and just throwing out people left and right, and his reaction where Bret came out and hands on his head, and it was awesome. And they done the I know Fake Diesel was in it, but the final people in that ring goes So yeah, it was pretty good. So for me personally, I'll go 97. So Nick, you've got the deciding vote.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm going to take 97 just because of Stone Cold winning it and then the debut of Rocky Maivia, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Right. So we'll go to the next one. So good Rumble here, 2005 Batista, and that is up against 2013 John Cena.
Yeah. I mean, 2005 was a good year, but Batista eliminating John Cena is just something you don't see. You won't ever see that again. Somebody like John Cena getting eliminated. For me, I love 2005, and of course, we're gonna go into it. But the botch finish. I mean, that has to be talked about.
Oh, come on, that wasn't botched. That was planned.
It's a hell,
man. That 2005 Rumble was awesome.
It's a hell of a botch. Both of them just landed exactly on the floor perfectly from such an unusual position as well, because Batista had them up for a powerbomb and just a little bit too much enthusiasm in it, and it just skipped them right over. But yeah, there was that spot, and we mentioned it. The other spots like Edge entering quite early on as well, and like him, I think he entered like number 5, and him he just came off earlier that night a big winning at Shawn Michaels, so this was like a little bit of a breakout night for Edge as well, and really really good. And it's up against 2013 John Cena. And I don't really remember much from this Rumble. I knew it came down to him and Ryback, and this was probably the end of Ryback's push when you generally think about it. During the summer, he was in the title feud with Cena and CM Punk. But after this Rumble, he went on to lose against Mark Henry, which they've been having a bit of back and forth on the last couple of days. So it's quite topical. But have you got much to say about 2013 Rumble, Rob?
I mean, did Cena really need that win? And not listen. I hated Ryback. Despised everything he was. I thought he was a waste of time. And I still feel for the guy, because did Cena need this win? It's you had the list of people that should have won. It goes on and on. Like Sheamus should have won that one. Ziggler's in there. Like it's just you gave it to Cena, and I just don't get it. Like this matchup is a no-brainer. I think 05 Batista by far wins this matchup. I think Cena absolutely did not need that, and it was also during WWE's like low point of like kind of that PG era stuff. So it's like I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? You in agreement? 05?
Yeah. Just the only thing that I can remember from 2013 is Godfather. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, 2005. Let's go with that. Batista winning the botch finish. Yeah, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I know Batista is a winner here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Great. Clean sweep. Cool. So the next one we got 1991 Hulk Hogan versus 1999 Vince McMahon. So the Hogan 91 Rumble, I've mentioned it a few times on my podcast and my YouTube channel. It's the very first wrestling match I remember watching it. My father was a fan, and he had a few. That's how he had a few video cassette tapes, and I remember putting it on, and just got blown away by seeing all the bright colors and these basically comic book heroes come to life, you could say, and just fell in love with wrestling since then. So that's for me. That's my emotional attachment to 91. And what has either of you got memories of the 91 Rumble?
I was 1, so I don't really remember that much, but I do remember Andre the Giant was scheduled to be in the Rumble, and I don't know what happened, but he obviously did not appear. And also, what was really weird was this Rumble was on a Saturday. Just odd. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but that's that for 91. That's what I can think of, like the moments, and I think that might be enough in my book to go over on 99, because I don't think 99 really went anywhere with it. I don't think Vince McMahon needed to win. I don't think it was necessary, but I mean, I guess it was entertaining.
Yeah. What about you, Rob?
91 is good. I mean, Randy Savage no-showed that match, which is phenomenal, which I loved. But
Yeah.
how do you not go with 99? Like McMahon and Stone Cold coming in at 1 and 2, and then them fighting through the stands, then going in the bathroom, and then him on commentary. Him coming in and winning at the end is so gold. I can't, like, it's perfect. 99 to me is probably my favorite Rumble of all time.
Well,
Wow.
I watched
I'm in agreement with you, Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just saying I watched the match twice today to make sure I wasn't going crazy, thinking it was my favorite of all time. But it's phenomenal. Like Vince coming out just jacked as hell with the traps that are way too big, coming out just and winning is so, like, it's stupid booking. It's terrible booking, but it's awesome.
Yeah, and I said to Nick before, Rob, the weeks leading up to it, Vince training with Shane McMahon, and the Rocky segment where he's got Vince McMahon chasing the chicken. He's like, "Get the chicken, get the chicken!" It was awesome stuff. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the sport. Yeah, 99, and you got the parts where the Ministry basically abducts Mabel, turns him into Viscera. The White Coats comes for Kane. I gotta go with Rob. Nick, I'm gonna say 99 for myself as well.
Okay.
Cool. So next one we've got 2018 Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's up against 1989 Big John Studd.
Yeah, this is not a tough decision. Rob, me, and my other co-host Sacco went to this Rumble. Shinsuke winning it over Roman Reigns. It's just, I don't know, unbelievable. So I'm picking 2018.
Yeah. And you, Rob?
I totally agree. Like being there was great, and like there was that little. I know the reports came out like a couple hours before the Rumble that Shinsuke was probably going to win, but when it was him and Roman the last two, it was like, oh, here we go, here goes Roman, here we go, and then he wins, and it was, it was phenomenal, and it was awesome just being there. I'm sure it was it was good watching too, but it's not that kind of a no-brainer. Not to diminish, not 89, but I wasn't really alive back then, so I really, I mean, if you look at 89's like list, you got like Coco Beware, you got Big Boss, you got a lot of good talent in there, and Big John Studd going over is awesome. But definitely 18.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, I've mentioned this before. The only memorable spot from 89, $1 Million Man buying the number 30 spot. This was the first 30-man Rumble, and at the end he tries to buy John Studd off to let him win, and Studd throws him out. But after that, obviously these were the early days before we had road to WrestleMania, you could say. So it didn't lead to anywhere. But yeah, I actually watched 2018 Rumble again today, and I kind of forgot. I knew it was good. I watched it again today. I was like, yeah, it was really fucking good. Oh, yeah. So 2018 it is.
Yes.
Cool. So next one, we've got the 2019 Women's Rumble, won by Becky Lynch, and that's up against 2015 Roman Reigns.
Oh my god!
I think this one's a landslide.
It's definitely a landslide when The Rock has to come in and get Roman over, and you can't even get him over.
Yeah, that's just it was so bad. Because I can't really remember many spots from that Rumble, but whatever good spots happened in that Rumble instantly got took away. It was just, wow. I mean, having Kane and Big Show, and don't get me wrong, I love Kane and Big Show, but in 2015, it's safe to say, their best days is long gone. And when you've got them eliminating young talent like Dolph Ziggler, and I think they eliminated Bray Wyatt as well, totally the wrong call. And then you've got up against 2019 Becky Lynch, and the story of Becky Lynch with it, and it's led Ed to becoming one of the biggest faces. And we got to go with Becky.
Yeah. Yo, I was there in 2015. That was also in Philadelphia.
Right.
It was, I know Philly sports fans are pretty tough, but Philly wrestling fans are tougher. The boos were crazy. It was just not enjoyable. So yeah, I'm with you. 2019.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, let's not discredit Bubba Ray coming back in 2015, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. When there's the hashtag cancel WWE Network, you can
Yeah.
safe to say this Rumble wasn't well received, and from all reports, I think it's actually gone down as the worst Rumble of all time. So Becky Lynch it is. So next one we got 1994, Bret Hart and Lex Luger co-winners, and that is up against the 2016 won by Triple H for the WWE Championship. So I'm a bit of a guilty pleasure. I am a kind of a new generation era kid. I was born in '89. I was raised up on the Hulkamania stuff, but I watched a lot of new generation era growing up, and Bret Hart is always my number one. So for actually seeing him win the Rumble, albeit quite a neat finish, really, like the two of them going over the top rope,
Yeah.
and this one was actually planned. It was a nice finish. A few's got memories of a '94 Rumble.
Not really. Other than the finish, I can't think of anything else, to be honest.
Yeah. And you, Rob?
Not much. I was yet again negative years old at this time, but Lex Luger and Bret Hart I just going back and watching Bret Hart stuff, I love them, and I think absolutely anything with him winning is gold in my eyes. Yeah, whatever, he was a little bit dry on the mic there, but the man's is a world class talent, and
yeah, I watch. I always tell everyone, like, when it comes to Bret Hart's mic work, it wasn't great, but watch 1997 Bret Hart mic work, and it's nice and day compared to his earlier stuff. But the thing what I took away from the '94 Rumble, so this was the gauge basically, because going into WrestleMania that year, Vince still wasn't decided who he was going to have as the guy, rather Bret or Lex. And this was basically the gauge, like, who am I going forward with? And the fans are always behind Bret Hart, so Bret got the nod. And that's up against the 2016 Rumble. Like I said, Roman Reigns entered number one. He had to defend the title. The memorable moment, you could say, AJ Styles debuting at number 3. Great moment.
Yeah.
Triple H coming out at number 30, eliminating Reigns. Big pop from the crowd. And it came down to him and Dean Ambrose. And I'm not the biggest AEW fan. I think people know that. But when I've seen him in AEW as John Moxley, he comes off to me as a Stone Cold knockoff.
Yep.
Whereas when I watch him in WWE, especially during this Rumble match, like, he was such a beloved babyface.
Yeah. I just never got it. Like, out of the three of the show, I just never understood the love for Ambrose, honestly. I mean, I get that he was like a lovable babyface. He never did it for me. But that Rumble is awesome. Like, I think you put the title on the line, that's something different. WWE fans always want something different. You gave them something different with that. You had Styles' debut, which is literally the biggest free agency signing probably in the history of the company up until, besides Jericho and all that stuff. But
yeah, it was a big moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. The only problem is you showed stupid Roman's face the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one. Like, me and Nick had the trial run, and I watched the 2016 Rumble again today, highlights, and this is a tough one. I mean, I'll go with Bret and Lex, but it's down to you two. What's your picks?
Rob, what do you got?
Man, Deeks, you know how much of a big Styles fan I am, so I just gotta go with 16.
Okay.
Go. Down to you, Nick.
Oh, man. I mean, as historic as the 94 Rumble was, I think Triple H winning the title at the Rumble, it being different, I think I'm going to go with 2016.
Cool. That's the first deviation from last night, Nick.
Uh-oh.
So we got some different ones already. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I did my homework, James.
Probably the only thing me and you agree on, huh, Deeds?
Yes.
Cool. So next up we got is the 1996 Royal Rumble, won by HBK Shawn Michaels, and that's up against the 1990 Royal Rumble, won by Hulk Hogan. So, start things off, 96 Royal Rumble. So, obviously, this came a year after he won it in 95.
Yeah.
And this is overall a better Rumble than 95, which we'll get to 95 later. But, yeah, this was the moment where Vince really decided that, yeah, I'm definitely going with Shawn at WrestleMania. And it led to the WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 12. Shawn Michaels last eliminated Diesel, and
Yeah.
a young Stone Cold, or as we call him, the Ringmaster, debuted in this made his Rumble debut as well. And he actually botched the spot because he was meant to be down to the final four.
Yeah.
But because the ropes were so slippery, because with the amount of sweat, he actually slipped off the ropes and he ended up like getting eliminated like seventh from last. So he actually botched it. And that's up against the 1990 Rumble, won by Hogan. And ironically, this was the very first pay-per-view, very first episode I done in my podcasting career. And I reviewed it and I loved it. So many big names in it. And the biggest moment was Hogan and Warrior Showdown. So Hogan, obviously, has been in WWE, WWF since before WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior at that point was in it for about 2 years, and he was the IC champion. Hogan was the WWF champion, and during this whole time, they've never touched. And this moment, they eliminated whoever else was in the ring, and there was still like another 4 people down to the Rumble. But for this moment, it was down to them two, and the crowd was a hot crowd all night, but the crowd went wild when this happened, and they crisscrossed in the ring. Double clothesline, and Vince McMahon was in the back thinking, right, I've got my main event for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What's your memories of these two Rumbles?
Yeah, not much. I mean, obviously Shawn Michaels being picked the guy was pretty cool to see. But I'm gonna go with you. 1990 was a really good year. Hulk Hogan winning it, and like you said, the iconic moment at the end, them two facing each other, looking at each other like that. It's just something special for wrestling fans and for the industry, you know?
And you, Rob?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do love me some Shawn Michaels and, Hunter Hearst before he was Triple H. But, you had that in the other Rumble, you had Ted DiBiase going 40 plus minutes. And then you had, my personal favorite in that Rumble, the Canadian Earthquake, getting eliminated by half the pool. So,
yeah.
I'm gonna agree with Dietz on this one. I'm definitely gonna go how he sided with it on the 1990 Rumble.
Awesome. Cool. So next one we go up, and 2 good ones here. 2001 Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that is against 2018 Women's Rumble, won by Asuka. Toughie, 2001 Rumble. It's at the height of WWF. We're on the road to WrestleMania X7. Limp Bizkit was probably the biggest rock band in the world at the time. Everywhere you walked around, you could hear Rollin' or My Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fucking great Rumble, and it's up against 2018, the first ever Women's Rumble, historic moment for women's wrestling. So yeah, before I get to my thoughts, what's your thoughts, Rob?
Oh my God, this Rumble's phenomenal. 2001, this is when I just started watching wrestling. WrestleMania 17 coming up. This Rumble was so great. Stone Cold coming in at 27. Pretty much making that number like what it is today, like the big 27.
Yeah.
It's a shame because the women's Rumble with Asuka. It's such a tough matchup to not choose 2001 because it was so great. But credit to that match too, that Asuka women's match, because she's great. I'm happy she went over on that, but I'm totally going with 2001 Stone Cold.
Yep. And you, Nick?
Yeah, as much as 2018 was historic, I think the way it ended with Nikki Bella, I don't know if that's the way I would have had the match ended, but definitely 2001. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, and like we said, even though it was a historic Rumble, there was large portions of that match where a lot of the women was outside the ring to leave like 2 or 3 people in the ring. And yeah, fair enough, it's their first Rumble, but a lot of them couldn't go over. A lot of the eliminations themselves was like so slow and like so safe, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Which it's the first Rumble, so I'll cut them some slack.
Yeah.
But you compare it to 2001 Rumble, Austin, the standoff with The Rock. Okay, you got Kane in the MVP of that night. We got to go with 2001. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So next one we've got the 2019 Rumble, Seth Rollins, and that is up against the Royal Rumble 2000, The Rock. So 2019, I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, and that year I wanted him to win it, and he won it. Problem was, I don't remember much from this Rumble, and I remember after he won it, and like I mentioned it to you, Nick, like obviously WWE shows over here, I have to stay up to like 3 or 4 o'clock to watch them. And I remember watching it, and it was the last match of the card, I think, and I was happy, but I was thinking, wasn't that great of a Rumble?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yes, I wanted Seth Rollins to win. Yes, he won, but it wasn't a big moment because, like, we knew it was going to happen. Was it awesome to see him win? Yes, it was. But when it comes to 2000, The Rock, going over, you just can't beat that. And the whole way it ended too with The Rock and Big Show, you don't get to see that often. So yeah, for me, I'm picking 2000.
Good. And
totally.
you, Rob?
100% agree. I mean, The Rock. It not only was he beating Big Show, he was beating him in Madison Square Garden, which is like the biggest deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's easy to say like the Attitude Era Rumbles, are going to keep winning these in this bracket, but I don't remember like 2019 Rumble. I just remember it being just kind of like there. It wasn't. There's nothing too big about it. Like there was nothing like oh whoa, like I mean Pete Dunne coming in was cool. I love Pete Dunne, but like nothing really like stood out to me. And I love Seth too, obviously, but I'm gonna agree with him. I'm gonna go 2001. I'm
the same. And one of the highlights from the 2000 Rumble as well was Rikishi and Too Cool, the Royal Rumble dance off. So and him basically just throwing the two of them out. And we gotta go with 2000. So sorry, Steph, we love you, but it wasn't a memorable Rumble. So speaking of memorable Rumbles, 2011, the biggest Royal Rumble of all time, the 40-man, won by Alberto Del Rio. And that is up against the 2020 Women's Rumble, won by Charlotte Flair. 2011 Del Rio, largest Royal Rumble, like we said. A lot of surprise, obviously, to stack the numbers up to fill the roster out. A lot of surprises like Booker T and Diesel coming back. The new Nexus was a thing with CM Punk as a leader where they controlled large portions of the match. And it got to a point where we actually wanted Santino to win because he was that fucking over.
Yeah. Speaking of Santino, I mean, the ending, no one knew that he was still in the Rumble. He comes out of nowhere and he tries to eliminate Del Rio. I mean, for me, the ending was so cool. And then the whole thing with, the 40-man, you don't see it. And I don't know if we'll ever see it again. But for me, I'm going 2011.
Killing me, Deets. You're absolutely killing me.
And you, Rob?
Absolutely killing me here, Deets. I'm totally disagreeing. I'm going with Charlotte Flair. Her beating Shayna, making her look stronger than ever, I think is good. I think we got to give more credit to the women for what they do. Booker T coming back to CM Punk kind of dropping to his knees was a phenomenal moment. I'm not a big fan of the 40 number, though. I don't like it. It kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm going to go Charlotte.
Wow.
All right. That's me. I would have went for the 2020 Rumble if they had if it was Shayna Baszler who actually won it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like Charlotte. She's probably going to go down as the greatest women's wrestler of all time. That's my opinion.
Yep.
And it's not a popular opinion, but that's my opinion. But I didn't think she needed it. I think Shayna Baszler should have won it. And the 2011 Rumble, and people hate Del Rio these days for things he's done or hasn't done. Like they went to court and they dismissed it, so you can only go by the courts. But and sorry if this sounds like self-plugging, but I recently just interviewed Ricardo Rodriguez. It should be going out in a couple of weeks. And we spoke about that moment where Del Rio won it. And when you go back and actually watch it, and what you got to think about, they was pushing Del Rio to the moon, like at this point, and he was over as a heel. And when he won it, like I watched the two of them in the ring, and when we talked about it, it was a good moment. And it was nice having the big surprises by like Booker T and Diesel, and Nexus taking over, John Cena doing John Cena things. And
Yep.
I'm sorry, Rob, I'm gonna have to go with Nick and say 2011.
You know what? I don't like you two anymore.
You're not gonna like this next one because this is probably gonna be the toughest one up to now. So we've got the 1992 Rumble, Ric Flair, and he's up against 2006 Royal Rumble, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, this is a tough one, James, because I was pulling for Rey Mysterio. I mean, it was everything to me when I was younger. I loved Rey, I loved Jericho, I loved Benoit, I loved Eddie, I loved that group, and seeing Rey go over was just phenomenal. And I don't know exactly how long he was in the ring for, but it was a long time. Again, I was 2 years old when Ric Flair won it in '92, so I don't really know as much. So 2006 for me, I'm gonna stick with Rey Mysterio.
I mean, how old I was aside, like that's an hour. Ric Flair in that Rumble for an hour long,
Right,
and
and you, Rob.
Ric Flair being in that Rumble for an hour long, and then him winning it. Age aside, my man Deeds, like you got to give that a little bit more respect there. That was an awesome Rumble. I mean, like, listen, he won the championship, Ric Flair. That was awesome, but 2006 is right when I'm kind of, starting to grow up, and Mysterio, the SmackDown with the fist logo era.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go Mysterio.
Wow.
Ooh.
You talked 92 up, and then you went with those 6.
Because it's
Heel
just my
10.
time. It was just my era. Like, I loved that era. That
Yeah.
Batista, SmackDown era. You know what I mean?
He swerved us, bro.
I
He's done a
swerved you.
so.
Swerved you. That's what I'm here
Right.
for.
I mean, I enjoyed that 2006 Rumble, and like we said, the whole match basically revolved around Eddie Guerrero. And and like I said, I'm born in '89, but I remember the Ruthless Aggression era vividly more than any other era in wrestling. And I love that Rumble, and some good spots like Ray entering 2, Triple H at 1. Final 4 was them 2, along with Randy Orton. I'm the biggest Randy Orton fan at the time, and I'm still a fan of Orton, and RVD's there.
Yeah.
If it was down to me, though, I would have picked 92 Ric Flair, because it's the star power in that Rumble was a joke. Piper, Macho Man, Hogan, Sid Justice, Ric Flair, DiBiase, Bulldog. The star power was a joke, and it was for the title as well. But I'm outnumbered, so I've got to go with the consensus, and it's 2006. So I would say this is the biggest shock up to now.
Yeah.
Upsets. That's what we're here for.
I don't want to upset my audience. all 3 of them.
I apologize to every member that I offended picking Rey Mysterio.
Right. So next one, 2004, Chris Benoit. And he's up against 1995 Shawn Michaels. Ironically, both these guys entered at number 1 in their respective Rumbles and went the distance and won them. Fun fact about the 95 Rumble, even though they like to brag that Shawn Michaels entered number 1 and won it, it's actually the shortest Rumble in history, because instead of it being 2 minutes every entrant, it's actually 60 seconds, and this Rumble was only 34 minutes long.
Huh.
And for good reason. The roster was drizzling shit. Out of this Rumble, there was legit 2, at a stretch, 3 people who could have won it. And there's a reason why Bulldog and Shawn Michaels started the Rumble and ended the Rumble, because the only other possible winners, at a stretch, Lex Luger, maybe Owen, and maybe Bob Backlund. But at the other time, you got the likes of the Blue Brothers and the Bushwhackers filling up the numbers. And then we look at 2004. Chris Benoit is starting the match off with Randy Orton. Mick Foley makes a surprise entrance, eliminates Orton. Big Show's on the tear at the end. And that memorable elimination, that DDT over the ropes, you could say. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2004, I was there. I was live in Philadelphia when it happened. And I was such a big Benoit fan. But it's just, it's tough to separate reality from, the WWE entertainment. So for me, even though it's a tough decision, I'm going to have to go with Chris Benoit just because I was such a big fan back in the day and I was ignorant and I didn't know what I know now. So for me, 2004, Chris Benoit.
And Europe.
It's tough. I think this is the toughest matchup just because of the both coming in early and then surviving. I mean, as you said, I guess the pool in 95 wasn't as good as the one in 04, and especially how it ended with the headlock on Big Show over the top rope is awesome. That's an iconic Rumble moment. I know WV will probably strike that from the record and all that because it's Chris Benoit, but I feel like this is so difficult. And the moment with Shawn Michaels where it's like, but the feet are wobbling and one touches the floor.
Yes.
And it's like, man, Benoit.
Yeah. It's that Shawn Michaels elimination or false elimination is probably the most iconic moment in Rumble history. But if you look at the rest of the Rumble, and they had to bring in some people from different promotions, like from Mexico, just to fill the numbers up. The roster was not great. Chris Benoit Rumble. I've said this to Nick before, and I can still appreciate his matches because the tragedies and the things he done didn't happen to the end of his life, not during his life, if that makes sense. So I can still sit down and enjoy a Chris Benoit match, which I understand people can't, but this was such a fun Rumble, and the little highlight spot for me was Ernest the Cat Miller entering and singing along. Somebody's got to call your mama.
Yeah.
So we'll give it the 2004, and there was also the spot where a couple months beforehand, Kane buried The Undertaker, and he got distracted by the dong.
Yes.
The dead man came back, or in some form or fashion. So 2004 it is. Right, so next one should be a pretty easy one. This one we got 1993 Yokozuna, and that's up against 2020 Drew McIntyre.
Man, this, like you said, this is pretty easy to me. 2020 holds a special place in my heart just because it was the last pay-per-view that there was a crowd, and it was just so entertaining. Everything about it with MVP, Brock Lesnar dancing, just everything about it is amazing, and I can't wait for another pay-per-view with the fans and the crowd. So I'm going 2020 here.
Yep. And you, Rob?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to back that. Not to discredit Yokozuna, but Drew McIntyre, Brock coming in at one, announcing it with the title, didn't have to be in the match, and then throwing out half the field, and then the Claymore that kicked him over the top rope, and then the stare from Drew, pretty much making Drew like a top guy in just one moment. Was fucking awesome. And I might be a little hard on today's product, but one thing I cannot be hard on is Drew McIntyre because the man is a bona fide stud, and that was awesome. I'm going to agree with Dietz and go 2020.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. 93, it was a fun Rumble for the time, but the ending was stupid. The Macho Man going for a pin on Yoko, and Yoko just basically throwing him out. And in that whole Rumble match, out of everyone in it, they was the only two likely people what's going to win it. And it's 2020 all day long. So sorry, Yoko. Right, toughie. 2002 Triple H up against 2010 Edge. This is a tough one. Triple H, he was on the shelf for about best part of the year. I mean, that's the reason why they brought the invasion angle so early, because the original plan was that Triple H, because he was part of the two-man power trip, and they had the match with Benoit and Jericho where he tore his quads. Still wrestled that match, and he was in the walls of Jericho on the announce table. Say what you want to say about Triple H, the man's one-hard son of a bitch. And he was on the shelf, injured for months, because the original plan there was going to turn him babyface against a heel Austin, which would have been great to see. He was on the shelf. He came back at Madison Square Garden, announced he was returning at the Rumble, and big return at the Rumble, and spots in this Rumble, Maven eliminating Undertaker. One of the most historic moments of the Rumble. That's up against 2010 Rumble. A fucking awesome Rumble in itself. Shawn Michaels entering, and he was on the mission of winning the Rumble to challenge Taker for the title. And there was the spot where he's desperately trying to grab onto that rope, and Batista just knocks his hand off, and and similar to Triple H, Edge returning at this Rumble after being out on the sidelines for a while and eliminating Chris Jericho. Then at the end, eliminating John Cena. This is a tough one.
Yeah, man, it is tough because I'm such a big Edge fan. I love what he's done for the industry, and I love that he, returned in 2019, 2020, whatever. But for me, it was so entertaining 2010. So I'm going to go with 2010. I know this might be an upset, but I just feel like Edge going over is something, that's best for business here.
Right. And you, Rob?
I guess I agree. I agree to an extent. I think the field in 2002 is like so much better, obviously. And Edge putting Cena down is awesome. I feel like Edge was always that thorn in Cena's side. Like whenever Cena went up for the FU, I feel like Edge always got out of it. I feel like Edge it was phenomenal. The return, I think Edge it's a slim win for him here. Like it would be like a 99-98 basketball game, but I'll give it to Edge.
Right. Yeah, it was a great Rumble. Me personally, I would have went with 2002. Like I said, Maven eliminated Taker, Mr. Perfect coming back and things like that. Mr. Perfect getting down to the final three, eliminating Stone Cold Steve Austin. I would have went with 2002, but I have to go with the consensus, and Edge at 2010 is your winner.
May I cut in real quick and say something?
Yep.
2002 Maven going through the popcorn machine was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. And one day in the future, lads, I'm planning on reviewing Tough Enough Season 1. I would love to have yous on it.
Wow.
You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going 2002.
Uh-oh. Breaking news.
Cashing in his money in the bank?
Cashing in money in the bank. I apologize. 2002. Gotta be.
Right. So, late drama. So, 2002 it is. Sorry, Edge. Next one. Another big return, 2008, John Cena, MSG, Royal Rumble. Why is the Royal Rumbles always so much better when it's in MSG? MSG is just the best arena for wrestling. I miss it. And that's up against 2014 Batista. Gotta say, lads, I think this is a one-horse race, this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. 08.
Rob?
Yeah.
Unless you got some love for Batista.
I got some love for Batista, but definitely not enough love to give him the win here. Cena coming back. I've mentioned it before. This is one of my favorite moments ever when he's got the arms crossed looking like a real douchebag. Love it. 08 Cena.
Right. I'm sure we'll go more in depth with it in the next round, but this was just so easy to choose.
Yeah.
Next one, a little bit tougher though. So we've got 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin up against 2007, The Undertaker. 98 Stone Cold. So the year before Andy won, but he was still heel, I suppose, and he was just about to go babyface. And Austin here was full babyface.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon put all his eggs into the Stone Cold basket, we should say, and. Fun Rumble. Bret Hart recently got screwed. He's out the company, and it's leading up to Shawn Michaels Austin, and Austin eliminates The Rock at the end. Dude Love enters Mick Foley enters the Rumble three times. Yeah. The three faces of Foley, all good stuff. But it's against the 2007 Royal Rumble. The Rumble where Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker decides to have a 5-star match at the end of it.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, as much respect as I have for Taker, I can't go 07 here. I have to go with 98.
Oh, well. What about you, Rob?
Yeah. Definitely got to go 98. The Rock lasting for like almost an hour and then finally eliminated by Stone Cold at the very end is great. I mean, 2007 isn't terrible. Like, 2007 was great, but I think it's just outmatched with 98.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That 2007 roster, the Final Four was Taker, Edge, Orton, and Shawn Michaels there, and Edge and Orton's at the height of rated RKO, and I to be honest, I don't think I could have choose between them myself personally because I remember both Rumbles, but I'll go with 98. So
nice.
98 it is. So cool. Next one. Two Rumbles I don't really remember that much. We got 2017 Randy Orton, and that's up against 2012 Sheamus. So 2017 Orton, the main thing I remember from this Rumble, so everyone's come in, we're waiting for number 30. People's thinking, right, is it going to be Finn Balor returning? Is it going to be Samoa Joe? Turns out it was Roman Reigns, who already entered, he was already in a title match earlier that night, and the fans was not happy online. And that's what I remember from it. And the 2012 Rumble was weird because Chris Jericho just made his return, and all signs pointed to him winning it and facing CM Punk at WrestleMania, which he did anyway. But they decided to go with Sheamus. The only other thing I remember is that Dolph Ziggler entered really early, and he was like the Iron Man that night. But yeah, what's your thoughts on these two?
Yeah, I think what 2012 led to with the match with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan lasting, I don't know, seconds. I just don't know if I can go with 2012. And I love Randy's work. I love what he's doing now. I'm going to go with 2017.
Right. What about you, Rob?
I mean, 2012 was, I mean, the bro kick to Jericho to end it was awesome. I think that was unexpected. I totally did not take Sheamus to win that year. I don't even hate the Mania match, even though it was 2 seconds. So it's like, you know, quick hitter, you know, get one out the way. The crowd loved it. I mean, even though, like, you know, you had all the Yes fans in the front row there, but it seemed like the most of the crowd liked the Sheamus win. But I only am picking that because I'm only picking 2012 because the moment Roman came out at 30 was the moment I turned absolutely nuclear on that man, because like you said, Joe coming up, Balor coming up, all these guys that could have came up debuted out the wazoo, and the whole Rumble like announced roster that was going to be in it was already out there. Like, you know, Goldberg, Taker were already in there, Lesnar was already in there. It's like to put Roman there. That's a good point. To put Roman there is the worst possible call they could have done, and I just don't get how they're sitting backstage going, yeah, this is the right call. So 2012 may not have been great, but 2017, in my opinion, eliminated itself. So 2012.
Tough one. I'm just trying to think now because I'm trying to remember. Like, I remember more from 2017, and I think the reason that they put basically whenever one of the other times he was in the final three. So in six of them appearances, he's been in 6 Rumbles, and he's rather been in the final 2 5 times or the final 3 1 time. Each record in the Rumble's a joke, and I think the reason that Vince McMahon puts him in the final 2 because he just knows that the other person's going to get cheered, whoever it is, whether it be Nakamura, McIntyre, or Orton in this case. I remember in the Rumble, like one after but it was a good moment. It was a big moment. Him and gotta go with 17, I think. Orton. I'm gonna have to go with 17 on because I remember more vividly. So we'll go with that. So 2-1 on that one. We're down to our final one of round 1, and it's Randy Orton again, 2009. And it's up against 2003 Brock Lesnar. Tough one. Orton with the help of Lady, but 2000 Rumble. So we're in the midst of the ruthless. Brock had to win the match against the Big Show earlier that night to qualify for the Rumble, and he eliminated the Undertaker, just returned that night. But there was a lot of star power in that match. There was like a young Batista, Kane's in the Rumble, RVD, Matt and Jeff, and world greatest tag team. And there's quite a few memories. So me personally, I think I would personally go with 2003.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Brock Lesnar was so big then, and it was meant for him to win that Rumble in '03. Was it cool to see Randy win it in '09? Yes. I don't know. For me, '03, I got to go with Brock.
And Europe.
I think it's going to be a sweep here for '03. I got to go, Brock beating Taker, like pretty much putting this man over to the moon
Yeah.
is awesome. And '09 is kind of that era where, like, the ruthless aggression's over with, and we're kind of fading into the PG, and it's really kind of not becoming the best. I mean, Orton going 50 minutes and winning is awesome, but I'm going to agree and go with 3 here.
Cool. Right, lads. So we're up to round 2. So the first one of round 2, 1997, Steve Austin up against 2005 Batista. So we went over a few talking points earlier, but toughie. So Batista winning the Rumble. We mentioned the botch spot. We forgot to mention Vince McMahon blowing both his quads out, going towards the ring, and obviously, after this match, Batista went on to challenge Triple H at WrestleMania. The iconic moment, like thumbs down, Batista bombing him through the table. And the Rumble was a good Rumble as well. And it was a good Rumble. And I'm trying to think if it was this Rumble or another Rumble. No, I don't think Taker was Taker in this Rumble as well. No, he wasn't 2005, was he? I don't think it was, but it must be another Rumble. But but this was a good Rumble though, because like I said, Edge was the Iron Man, and this is the one where Kurt Angle stole Nunzio's spot.
Oh yeah,
and ended up getting eliminated by Shawn Michaels, and then he came in to eliminate Shawn Michaels, and that led to their match at WrestleMania. And we spoke about the '97 Rumble. Tough one. Me personally, I think I'll go for 05, but I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I understand that Rocky made his debut, but he wasn't over then. It wasn't really a big deal. Now, 20, 30 years after the fact, it's a huge deal, but it doesn't make sense for me to go with 97. I'm going to go with 05 Batista.
All right. And you, Rob, what would have been your choice?
I guess I don't have a choice here because my opinion won't really matter. Because 05 is going to go over, but Benoit and Eddie starting the match is awesome. Benoit,
good point.
Benoit actually was the Iron Man over Edge by 8 minutes.
Right, that's right. Yeah, right.
So, you did your homework.
And then he got eliminated by. I'm pretty sure he got eliminated by Evolution. I think it was Orton and somebody else. I think it was Orton and Flair, or somebody in Flair. And
it would have been Batista and Flair. That's right. Because that's right. Because Orton was in the match with Triple H.
Yeah. Yes. And that's the whole Evolution's phenomenal. So.
And there's I just remembered there's a spot where Ric Flair tries to grab the back of Batista's head to eliminate him, but because of the strength of Batista, Flair goes belly face first on the floor mat, and I've just remembered that. So
of course,
and that was the one, and that was when because early the night Eddie tried to steal Flair's number.
Yep.
And because I think it was when you go back and think about it, you're like, it's actually these moments. So 05 it is. So next one we got 99 Vince up against 2018 Nakamura. This is gonna be a tough one for you, Rob.
No, real tough. Like me and Dee said earlier, we were both there for this one, and him beating Roman's awesome. But like I said, I just love the Vince. I just love this Vince win. I don't know why. I'm the biggest critic of Vince and his current product. I think I think this is hysterical. I mean, it led to literally nothing. But I don't care. I do not care. I think that's that moment that's so great. And I'm gonna continue it. I'm gonna go 99 Vince here.
You, Nick?
I'm going with Shinsuke. I wanted him to win so badly. It was just an awesome moment. I was there live. Him, throwing Reigns over. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's historic because it was such a big event for me. So I'm going to go with Shinsuke.
This is tough for me because people like to say, because they're idiots, they like to say, oh, the Attitude Era is overrated. I thought, is it fuck? I thought it's the most successful time in wrestling history. It's
Exactly.
never going to be duplicated. I love the Attitude Era. I love all the wackiness and everything what goes into it. I do. Um, but the 2018 Rumble, I watched it again today, and it's so good. And like, he's like, trying to get into the ring and someone knocking him down every time, and to the point where Sheamus puts him in and he shows him my straight combo. I got 2018 Nakamura, so tough
Nice.
one. So next up we got Becky Lynch and she again. I'm just gonna go flat. I'm gonna say Becky Lynch. Like I was torn between. Well, I said I would choose Brett and Lex over Triple H last round. But for me, I think for me personally, this is more clear cut and Becky
Yeah.
Lynch fan. So yeah, myself personally, I'll say Becky Lynch 2019.
Yeah, I gotta go with you on this one, James. Just the way it happened too with her, replacing Lana was such an awesome moment. And I'm gonna go with you, Becky Lynch.
And you, Rob?
You know what, guys? I'm really getting tired of you going 2-0 and me just having no voice here. So I would have gone Becky anyway. I think this the man. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
Is there a better women's gimmick ever
No.
than that?
Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme expose.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry.
Totally
Spoiler
alert.
You're right.
Spoiler alert, Rob. The few weeks time we're doing the hottest women bracket.
Oh, you know who my number one is?
Well, we'll wait for the show. We'll wait for the show.
All right.
Becky Lynch it is. Right. So next one. Toughie. 1990 Hulk Hogan up against 2001 Stone Cold Steve Austin. So yeah, I'll let you talk. I'll let you have your thoughts first, and in front of a tie, I'll be tiebreaker.
Yeah, this is a tough one, Robbie. What do you got?
Oh man, you're throwing it to me first? Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
You just complained that you was the last one, so you can be the first one this time.
Are you calling me a complainer, James?
Yep.
Man. The Attitude Era, like you were saying earlier, is pure. It's just the best I've ever watched. It won't be it's the best. So it's so tough to pick against Sean here because I talked him up so much earlier. But man, so I'm going Stone Cold. I'm going 2001 Stone Cold.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Robbie on this one just because it was so historical. It was his third win. So I'm going with Austin here.
Same here. Such a great Rumble. I watched it again today, and I don't regret watching it again today. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it again in a bit. Next one we got Royal Rumble 2000, The Rock up against 2011 Alberto Del Rio. I'll start things off. Gotta give it to The Rock. I love my Attitude Era. So much entertainment in this match. Big Kane fan. And, I really wanted Kane to win it, but The Rock won it for me, and I was happy. So, me personally, I've got to give it to The Rock. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I think 2011, which it was cool because it was 40 men. I just think it was, I don't know, it seemed like a gimmick match to me, and I didn't think it meant as much as 2000 did. So, I'm with you, dude. I'm going with The Rock.
And you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, The Rock, like I said earlier, MSG. And it's like that iconic taxi cab is like right at the entryway, right above it.
I forgot about that.
To me, that screams like iconic. And I think that's what the Royal Rumble is. And I think you got to give it to The Rock again here.
Awesome. So tough one here, yeah. Ruthless Aggression squares off. 2006 Rey Mysterio up against 2004 Chris Benoit. I'll give it to you first, Nick, and I'll be tiebreaker. You and Rob, what are you saying?
Okay. as much as I respected the 2004 Rumble with Benoit going over, and of course I was there to see it happen. It's just something with Rey Mysterio. It just I don't know. It feels home to me. So I'm gonna go with '06 Rey Mysterio.
Right. And you, Rob.
I could not disagree more. Benoit going over, being in there for an hour, coming in at 1, and beating the Big Show to end it. Like,
Yeah,
that to me, that's awesome. Like, that's what you want to watch. And
yeah,
if you look at the list of people that were in there in between him, you got Orton, Mark Henry's in there, Matt Hardy, Booker T, Kane,
yeah,
Rikishi, like all these guys, Kurt Angle, Cena's in there. Like, it's like Goldberg. Like, it's just the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I think but Benoit's win is
yeah.
beyond impressive, and it's just going to get, it's Benoit, so it's obviously looked at, sideways head, but I go Benoit here.
Okay,
Um,
James.
Gotta go with Benoit. During his time, massive Benoit fan.
Yeah,
So
me too.
him winning the Rumble, especially entering number 1, gotta go with Benoit. And I think
Yeah.
secretly, Nick, you wanted it as well.
Yeah, to an extent, I love Rey Mysterio. I love what he's about. I love everything that he's doing now and back in the day. It was tough for me.
Yeah. Right. Well, speaking of tough, we've got 2020 Drew McIntyre up against 2002 Triple H.
Oh, man.
I'll leave the floor to you, and I'll be tiebreaker.
Yeah, Robbie, what do you got here?
Oh, you're giving it to me. Okay. So hard. 2002 Triple H is amazing. I think. Drew going over there put him to the moon, and it made him the superstar he is today. And when we get crowds back, I'm sure we'll see how much all of us appreciate him. 2002 is 2002 is prime, right at the end of the Attitude. So it's like, oh man, it's tough. I think me personally, I'm gonna have to go with Drew.
Yeah.
Yep. You, Nick?
Yeah, as much as I love the ending with Angle versus Triple H at the very end, the final 2, that was awesome. But 2020 was so entertaining. I got to go with 2020.
Same here. And we haven't even mentioned Edge returning as well.
Oh, yes.
In the midst of...
Yeah, and the botched camera angle.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to go with Drew. So, right, next one. 2008 John Cena up against 98 Steve Austin. This one's a tough one. This one is a tough one. Rob, what's your thoughts?
Oh man, I get all these tough ones first, huh?
They're all tough from now on.
Yeah, this is not easy. Cena, that moment where he came back after he had that surgery, put up the OK, and MSG. It's so good. And to me, like, Cena being my favorite of all time, it's so hard to choose against him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that being said, 98 Stone Cold is awesome. The match that led to at WrestleMania was awesome.
Yes.
This is so hard, but I'm gonna go 98 Stone Cold.
Wow.
98 Stone Cold. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, it's tough because John Cena is such a big, part of the WWE. But I mean, so is Stone Cold, and I got to go with Robbie here just because what it led to, him versus Shawn Michaels. Wow, that's a Mania moment right there. So I'm going 98.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Obviously, 98's going through. Just thinking, like, when Cena came out, the final 3 was himself, Triple H, and Batista, and they're all doing the taunts against each other.
Yeah.
So good. I'm torn on it, but 98 is the winner anyway because these two's gone for it. So we're going to say 98. And the final one of round 2, we got 2017 Randy Orton up against 2003 Brock Lesnar. For me personally, I think it's going to be. I think this is actually the easiest one of round 2.
Yep.
I'm going to have to say Brock Lesnar 2003.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. This is pretty easy, James.
You, Rob?
It's a crime it is a crime that you two put 2017 through to the second round because of how much of an embarrassment it was having Roman come out at 30. I don't need to say my answer because I'm pretty sure you guys know it.
Yeah.
Well, right. So down to the quarterfinals.
Here we go.
First one we've got 2005 Batista up against 2018 Shinsuke.
Damn.
Yep.
I refuse to believe that the ending of 2015 was a botch. In my mind, it was real.
It's real to me.
Cena and Batista were are the two stars of Ruthless Aggression. I think it was 2005 was awesome. Shinsuke, we were there and all that. 2005 Ruthless Aggression was like my era. It was probably my favorite era, honestly. So I'm gonna go Batista here.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going with Shinsuke just because it was such a big moment, and I was there live, and just everything about it too. Like Rob said earlier in the episode, he said we kind of knew it was going to happen, but we didn't. But as soon as he was in the ring with Reigns, I had no clue. I thought Reigns was going to win, and Shinsuke going over. It's just for me, it's something that I will never forget. So I'm going with 2018 Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right, down to me. Just a tough one. I love Ruthless Aggression era with a passion. And it's got another memorable elimination spot. Snitsky clothesline and Paul London out of his skin.
Yes.
Great moments.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to get him on the show. He's been messaging me back, Snitsky, so I'd love to get him on. This is a tough one. I'm going to edge it towards Shinsuke.
Yes.
Because it was actually one of the best Rumbles we've had for a while as well. Because between 2012 and this one, we had a lot of Rumbles where the winners were predictable as well. And this was the first time where, some people said it was going to be Shinsuke, but it wasn't nailed on. And that hates me to say it because I'm a Ruthless Aggression edge to Shinsuke. So Shinsuke, let's get this.
James, do you think the botch finished had a reason why 2018 went over on 05 for you?
No.
No. Okay.
It was not botched.
It made it better for me, if anything.
Yeah.
Right. Next up, we've got it's. Toughies again. It's 2019 Becky Lynch, and she's against 2001 Steve Austin. Just give me 2 minutes. I just need to get a charger. You can talk and debate this one for Gabby 2 seconds.
Yeah. I think what happened with Becky Lynch after this was something really cool to see. I don't really know what this is tough, Rob. What do you think?
I mean, listen. 2001 though, D. It's better than that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's why I'm asking. I'm asking you. What do you think?
I get it. I get this women's revolution. I totally get it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're talking Attitude Era, Stone Cold winning a Rumble, though. You know?
No, that's a good point too.
What 2001 Mania was what? 17.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad with.
No, it wasn't 17.
Yeah, I know it was in New Orleans.
Oh, that's great. That helps me a lot.
What do you got? Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Stone Cold. All due respect to Becky and everything that she accomplished after, and it's so hard to not pick her because after what happened was so great, and she became probably the biggest women's wrestler probably ever, in my opinion, once it's all said and done. But to me, 2001, it's just it's with the Stone Cold going on. It's just 2001. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick 2019 because I want to hear what James has to say here.
Right, so for people thinking why my audio sounds a bit different, About to plug my phone charger in. So yeah, 2001, 2019. This one's a no-brainer for me. Love Becky Lynch and the Great Rumble, but I'm an Attitude Era kid, height of wrestling, and I've got a lot more to talk about with the 2001 Rumble, which we'll probably get into next round. But yeah, for me, 2001.
Okay.
Cool. So next one we got Royal Rumble 2000 with The Rock up against 2004 Chris Benoit.
Damn. See, I didn't pick Chris Benoit last time, but I think I'm going to go with him this time just because A, I was there, B, what we said earlier, it was such a big the elimination with him and Big Show was something probably we'll never see again. So I'm going with Benoit.
Right. And you, Rob?
Man. I'm going to disagree respectfully, of course. I think The Rock going over the stage to set up what happened after. I think I gotta go Rocky here. I mean, it's so hard because Benoit, like the way Benoit did it, was so great. But I'm gonna go with Rocky.
All right, down to me. This is a tough one again, which they're all going to be tough. 2004 Rumble was so good. It really was so good.
Yeah.
But I love The Rock with a passion, and just and this was like in the middle of the Attitude Era, my favorite era of it. Well, I love Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression evenly. To be honest with you, tough. I've got to, because there was a little bit better of a quality in wrestling and more memorable spots, I would say. Got to give with 04, Chris Benoit.
Yes.
It was tough. That one was tough for me. And this one's even tougher because we're left with 9 instead of 8 because of we started off 36. So the last one off round 3 is actually a triple threat. We've got 2020 Drew McIntyre, 98 Stone Cold, 2003 Brock Lesnar.
Damn.
Straight off the bat, for me, it's 2020 Drew McIntyre. That's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going with you, James. As much as those two events were awesome to watch, and it was, something that we'll never see again, I think 2020 is where I'm gonna. I'm picking 2020.
Right. You, Rob?
I'm actually, again, it doesn't matter what I say here. It's not 2020 here. I think 98 was fun. I think Clark, great. Shawn and Taker at the end. I know, but I mean, to have Rock and Austin be the final 2 and then Rock go over is so good. I'm gonna go 98. I know it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So we're down to the semi-finals. So semi-final 1, 2018 Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's up against 2001 Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've got my pick. I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first, Rob.
Oh, me. Yes. I didn't pick Shinsuke last round, and I'm not picking him again this round. 2001 Attitude Era Stone Cold Steve Austin is amazing. The way he did it with the steel chair, popping Kane in the dome with it. He's all bloody, flips him over. I think 2001 Rumble is a perfect Attitude Era Rumble. I think, which is the best era, and I think you got to give 01 here.
Yeah, as much as I love 2018, I can't have that happen. I have to go with 01.
Same here. Loved 2018 Rumble. I did, but just the face-off between Shinsuke and The Rock, that'd be great. The face-off between Austin all bleeding up and The Rock with his eyes bulging out of his head. We'll get to the final, and who's meeting them in the final? Because we've got 2004 Benoit up against 2020 Drew McIntyre. Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man. As much as I love the 2020 Rumble, and again, we'll go back to it. It was the last time we saw fans in the arena. I think I have to go with Benoit here.
Wow. And you, Rob?
So hard. This is so difficult. I definitely think 2020 was great. And
Yeah.
I think I think everything about it was good. I mean, at the time I was annoyed with Lesnar coming in and just doing that.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, it was actually it was super entertaining, which is what we're watching for.
Yep.
But Benoit, I think I've been loving what I've been taught. I love Benoit. I loved him when he was a wrestler. I loved how he did this. I think it's got to be Benoit.
Well,
Wow.
For what it's worth, my choice would have been 2020.
Oh.
Yeah, I absolutely loved last year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
After I watched it in my head, I thought this is one of the best Rumbles I've watched, which obviously it is because it's got down to the final four.
Yeah.
Right, let's the grand final. 2001, Steve Austin. 2004, Chris Benoit. I'll list off a few of the moments with 2001. Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy starting off with Bull Buchanan. Matt Hardy coming in. Two idiots eliminated each other. Drew Carey making an appearance. Kane coming out. The Honky Tonk Man coming out. Kane smashing the Honky Tonk Man over the head with a guitar. What was perfect as well, because the Honky Tonk Man was singing his song, and the exact moment Kane hit him over the head with the guitar was the exact moment the music stopped.
Yeah.
And during the middle of this Rumble, it became a hardcore Royal Rumble with the likes of Perry Saturn, Al Snow and Rave, and Steve Blackman coming into the ring. And obviously, like I said, The Undertaker coming out, Kane dominating things, Triple H attacking Stone Cold on the entrance ramp.
Yep.
Scotty 2 trying to make his way to the ring, and Kane and the Undertaker's awaiting him. And that's up against 2004 Rumble, where Chris Benoit Rumble, which is lost in the pages of history, you could say. Starting off with him and Orton. So good. I'm going to go with Steve Austin 2001. That's my pick. So I'll let you finish it off.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Robbie, you want to take this?
I'll take this. I'll add by saying 2001 is by far my winner. Like Drew Carey trying to pay Kane to not hurt him. Probably was the first time I cursed in my life. I looked at my dad. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Like this, and then the trash all in the ring because Raven comes in. Like this Rumble is amazing, top to bottom, amazing. It's so good. Perry Saturn, like everything about this Rumble, I thought was great. You had, and this was Right to Censor was still around, and I'm a big Right to Censor guy for reasons I don't know. I don't know.
Think about society these days. Right to Censor won.
Yeah.
Right. The Good Father. 2001, man. Kane killing people all night long. Just coming up, Kane was in there for almost an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And then Stone Cold winning 27. That number will forever be iconic for the Rumble. I think 2001 is the winner.
Yeah. Well, it is. 2001 is the winner. I just, like you said, I mean, you named almost everything about that event, but you forgot this. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin's third Rumble that he won. Yes. That's historic. I'm going with 01.
Awesome. Also, quick note, and he only used it for a short time, but his theme song by Disturbed is his best theme song.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
When he had it on like WWE2K16, that was like on repeat for me. I love that song. Right, lads, I had such a great time doing this. Before we do sign off and plug social media, so the Royal Rumble's a couple of weeks away. Who's your picks, men's and women's?
Ooh. We actually discussed this on our recent episode, or the episode that's going to come out very soon next week. I got Ripley as the women's. What about you, Robbie?
Oh man, I threw a curveball in here. I think a returning Ronda Rousey wins this one.
Wow. What about you, Rob? My bad.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Women's for me. I'm going Ripley as well. And your men's, Nick?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Robbie, what do you think?
I think I feel like everyone's taking Daniel Bryan, and I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I think this is the time. Now is the it's the Keith Lee. It's got to be Keith Lee. This
yeah,
we can't bury this guy. We got to make sure this guy blossoms because he's gold in my eyes.
yeah. As much as I want to pick Keith Lee and Daniel Bryan, I would love to see Bobby Lashley, but that's not going to happen. I think he's doing well with the Hurt Business. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan.
Right. It's weird, Keith Lee, because he had a title match a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So are they going to have that same title match like at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
The only way I can see Keith Lee going for the Drew McIntyre is that it's going to be a triple threat between them and Brock Lesnar. So it could be a case Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar both go over, which would be fun to see.
Yeah.
SmackDown, if it's going to be a SmackDown winner, I can't pick. Does Seth Rollins come back to challenge Roman Reigns as a babyface? Nakamura's come out the blue, popular again.
Yep.
Cesaro's got some steam behind him.
Yeah.
I did pick in my head a couple of months ago, Big E. I don't know. I might just go for it. I'll go out left field, and I think it might be a tie, Brock Lesnar, Keith Lee.
Wow.
Outside the box.
Here we go.
Cool. So
Nice.
Thanks so much, lads. So before we do sign off, Nick, tell everyone where they can find you and the podcasts and social media.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for this. This was awesome, James. You can find us on Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. And of course, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Podbean. So again, James, thank you. Thank you very much.
Cool. And you, Rob?
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. Like, Rumbles are my favorite, and I hope I came across as not a total incompetent asshole this time. I think I did pretty well. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. Like, it was awesome. I'd love to come on again and talk some shit with you.
Awesome. And where can everyone find you on social media?
I'm sorry.
Where can people find you? Sorry, where can people find you on social media?
I actually don't have any social media right now, to be honest. So it's not. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Cool. And everyone who wants to find me on Twitter at 90s Wrestling Pod, on Instagram at 90s Wrestling Podcast. If you're listening to this on podcast form, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Podbean, all them good places.
Yeah.
Please give us a like and a subscribe, 5-star rating. Just found out, lads, in the UK, my home country, I'm in the top 26 wrestling podcasts.
Hell yeah!
Good for you, man.
Above the likes of Corey Grave and Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, same again. Please give us a like and subscribe. It means a lot. And if you could share it, it'd be great. And if you disagree with our opinions, which I would imagine you're going to do, post them in the comments section below. And if you've got any future topics you would like us to make a tournament bracket about, greatest heel turn, finishes, WrestleMania moments, anything like that, drop in the comment section below. And I'm sure we'll have fun discussing it. But until then, thanks very much. And we'll catch you in the next one.